Dark, cold, empty. A universe at the start of its creation, filled from end to end with sleeping horrors, waiting to consume all that could exist, all dreams, all realities, all creation. Reaching into the universe, a hand creates the veil, a wall to keep the monsters at bay and create a pocket of solitude, safety for an infant universe that is yet to be born. I shall call it the Great Beyond, the Creator thinks to themselves. Within this new safety, the Creator breathes the elements, primordial forces of creation: fire, air, decay, earth, water, and spirit. They shall become the genetic code for all existence. The Creator then creates the first ones, children that will bring order and stability and provide the blueprint for life within the newfound safety of the Great Beyond. What then happened to the Creator? Are they dead? Have they ever even existed? The words here do not exist. A frustrating prospect, but one I am sure you will forgive me for. Much we already know of the universe and its origins, but much remain outside our grasp. The beings that created us are still beyond our own intellect to comprehend. Understand, despite this being the most wondrous revelation of my storied career, I stand upon the merest precipice of understanding. The language of the first one seems to shift and grow as I find greater depths within it. I have no doubt that further meanings will reveal themselves as the glyphs and the geometry of this fractal tongue become more known to me. So please consider the chapters ahead to be but works in progress. It is not that there is a chance they will change. There is certainty of it. For some time, the first ones went about their purpose with great efficiency. They brought blueprints and structures to the primordial forces. Within them they created the elemental lords, the elements and their realms. For a time, it was all perfect. But those outside the cycle, the monsters beyond the veil, were growing restless. What the first ones had failed to foresee was the future, the timelines of the Great Beyond, and the creation of the creature Morrizond and the untold chaos he would cause. To understand this theory here, I highly recommend watching my previous 2 videos, linked in the top right. The Ancient Ones could not pierce the veil, their very existence an affront to the beings of the Great Beyond. The Ancient Ones had another tool, however: influence. Quiet manipulation of the mind. They expanded their influence into the Great Beyond, sending fragments of themselves into this vast universe, trying to glean any information of its inner workings. It didn't take long for the Old Ones to start interfering with the primordial forces. The nightmares they shared drove the elements crazy, as all things must inevitably become in the presence of the Old Ones. These 6 forces existed in strife. Well, not strife in the way one such as you or I would see it. Opposition, surely, but whether malignant or benign is unclear. Who were these 6 forces? We have always believed this to be light, life, order, void, death, and disorder. But if you watched my previous video, link in the top right, you know I dispute this. To me, the only natural answer is light, life, order, death, disorder, and reality. The void being the one outside the cycle. The proof for this is found in two quotes. The first in the Tasavesh Expedition Report A37J, Part 1, page 6. Imbalance? Possibly. But that might be wrong. If 6 equal 1, then what is the other? The one outside the pattern. Clearly, more forces were observed than just the 6 forces. To find out which of these forces known to us, we turn to Herald Volash in Ankh-Kahet. They do not die. They do not live. They are outside the cycle. If the forces of the cosmos form a cycle, forces existing in balance, then surely the void being outside the cycle, neither living nor dead, makes the most sense. When the void finally started showing up within the great beyond, the first ones realized it was only a matter of time before the entire universe would be consumed by the void. So they needed to act. They needed to produce a plan that would lock the void outside the cycle forever. Again, we turn to the Tasavesh Expedition Report. There was imbalance. Until there was a need for something more. They came together, or were brought together, depending on how one interprets the fractal, and gave a form to their design. Each architect gave a portion of themselves, and thus the pattern was drawn. It was no longer enough for their creation to simply exist. They needed their forces to have structure. They needed intelligence that would guide the universe and preserve the cycle. They needed to close the loop, where the void would be excluded from the cycle. Thus, the Azeroth realms were born. If the great beyond was going to survive, it needed defenders. Powers that would stop at nothing to ensure creation never ends. For the first ones, this task would have been far too taxing. The cycle was too big for even them to defend. Instead, they created machines, engines that would create according to their design, not only worlds and life and anima, but also beings of immense power that would serve as the protectors of the realm. To do this, they each decided to sacrifice themselves, to pour their own existence into the universe, so each part of creation would contain a small part of themselves. Therefore, the sepulchre of the first ones isn't just a place of power. It truly is where the first ones sacrificed themselves for creation. This is why Zuval needed to go there. It is the source code for all existence. To release a virus that would ensure domination of the cosmos, he needed to go to the root of creation. What about us, mortals? We are but one small part in a very ancient war. The first ones, however, underestimated the void. Their hope was that by excluding the void from creation, the void would be powerless. They themselves are immune to the corruption of the void, and so they believed by inserting themselves into the very creation, the void would be incapable of finding a way in. Of course, like so many after them, they underestimated the patience of the void. With each passing century, the void moved ever closer to the Azeroth realms. Eventually, they would infiltrate and gain control of creation itself. Perhaps the waters of Zereth Mortis serves as this final barrier, separating the Ancient Ones from their ultimate prize. The Void cannot corrupt that which has already been born, but if it can corrupt the child within the chambers of creation, then that child will become a weapon of the Ancient Ones. Is Zuval perhaps one of those beings? A being already corrupted by the Void? Or is he the only one to have seen their plan and realized the mistakes of the first ones? He does, after all, claim that creation has a fatal flaw, that the design of the first ones is broken. In my next video, we will investigate the Void, what it is and what it isn't. I do hope you enjoyed my theory. If you did, please hit the like button, subscribe for more, and hit the bell. To all patrons, Twitch subs, and YouTube members, thank you so much for all your support. You make videos like this one possible. To join the GJ Nation, simply click the links in the description below. As always, I love you.